Today I've got one of the latest variants in the Olight ArkFeld line. This is the ArkPro, and I've done some ArkFeld reviews before, and they're nice lights because they're fairly flat and relatively easy to carry. But one of the things in the past, I was kind of like, well, do I want a laser? Do I want a UV light? I don't know that I necessarily need either. I'm not sure which one I would pick to carry. But the nice thing about the ArkPro is that it has, well, I guess the best of all worlds all in one, because this has 4 different light sources. It has a spot, which is pretty throwy. It has a flood, which is really throwy. It has a 2 brightness UV light, and it has a laser. And if you want to get technical, it has 7 different light modes, because you can use the laser with all 3 of the light modes out the front. So I guess if you are shining a light at something, showing someone, and then you want to say, look right there with the laser, where at that spot where I'm shining, that you want to point to something, you can do that. So this is very versatile with the light modes. Also, one of the things that I appreciate about this is that there's the Olight magnetic charging port, which, okay, I've got that cable in the drawer in my kitchen all the time. However, what I almost always have plugged into the wall is a USB-C cable. And while the proprietary Olight thing is nice, they include dual charging on this, and right on the side here, there's a spot where you can plug a USB-C cable in, and I love that versatility. And also sometimes if I go on vacation and I would take a light, maybe I don't want to take more cables. So the fact that if you want to bring this, you can bring just a USB-C cable to probably power all of your devices at this point. And I love the charging options there. So let's go down to the tabletop here and take a little closer look at this. This has their unibody construction, so it's all one piece machined here. And they say that on the top here, it has the first ever ridge that runs right down the middle there. You can see that. And then this one also has some decorations kind of embossed into it. Also up on the front here, it has the different light modes, so you know where the dial is. Looking on the back, there is the magnetic charging port. That is also magnetic, so you can stick it to things. On the sides, there is some knurling. On the back, there are 2-way pocket clip, standard Olight 2-way pocket clip that some people love and some people are less fond of, but it is there. And then on the side here, this is the laser button, which I'll show you. And over on the other side here, the USB-C charging port. Up in the head, there is the flood, the throw, and the UV light, which is right in the middle there. And then right here is the on-off button and the mode selector switch that you just rotate. Carrying it overall, not too bad. You can see it is palm-sized a little bit with some extension. It is a little bit longer than some of the prior ArkFelds. And carrying it in your pocket, having done this, it is a little bit long and maybe a little bit wider than some EDC lights that you might carry. So depending on the size of your pocket, reaching around in it to grab something out of your pocket may or may not be a bit of an issue, but just something to be aware of there. Looking at the function now, it has the mode selector switch right in the middle here. And so you rotate it to the left to get it onto UV mode, the middle to put it on flood, and the right to put it on spotlight. When you turn it on, it will give you the battery charge indicator here and the brightness indicator here. And so you can see right there, it's at 3. If you hold it down, it will ramp through the different brightnesses. And then to get to turbo, you just double click and it will go to turbo, and you can see the full 4 bars there. It does have a lockout mode, so if you hold it down, you long press, it will come on, and then it will go back off. And you can see up here, that little lock is now lit up, and when you go to try and turn it on, you can see that lock shows you that it's in lockout. To get it out of lockout, you just hold it down and out of lockout mode. The laser button on the side here is either constant or momentary, so if you hold it down, the laser comes on to momentary and you can let it go. If you just tap it, it comes on to constant, and then while it's on, if you hold it down, it will move between the 2 brightnesses, low and high. Low is a class 1 laser, which they say is safe for all environments, but I still would not shine it in your eye. And the high is a class 3R, which definitely is not safe for shining in your eye, so I really wouldn't do either of them. And obviously don't shine it at planes or anything like that. While the laser's on, you can also turn the light on. And like I said, if you want to shine it at stuff, and then you can turn the laser off and still have the light on. So different lighting modes you can do with that. The lights up front, so that's UV there, which you can see lit up there, the flood, and then the spot. And low, medium, high, turbo to double click, triple click gets you a strobe. As far as the outputs, the flood goes up to 1500 lumens, the spot goes up to 800 lumens. They are both pretty good, again, for a light this size and for reflectors of this size, which is to say not super deep. This is not a big light with a big head and a big reflector. For a light this size with these size reflectors, you get really a good distance out of both of those, good use out of both of those as a general purpose, everyday carry kind of light. The UV and the laser, I don't know how much most people have use for those. The laser is always fun, I guess if you have a cat and things like that. I can't think of a lot of uses that I've personally had for a laser. The UV light, now if you want to be scared about what's at your home and looking at the dirt with that, well, give that a try. And then personally for me, working in the ER, we stain people's eyes with fluorescent dye, and we have what's called a Woods lamp, which is a big lamp with a UV light on it. And now one of the guys I work with carries an ArkFeld, and you can actually just use this to look in their eyes, because the Woods lamp, it's always kind of a, where is the thing? Which cabinet is it in? So I can carry this in place of the i3T Plus, the longer 2 AAA battery light that I've been carrying for a couple of years. And this is both good for you to put it on the spot and put it in the low mode. Good for eyes and throats if you need to go up a bit for throats. It's a good shining back in their throat without getting all the way up into their eyes as if it was on the flood, which would definitely be too much for their face and their eyes and their mouth. So handy for that, the different brightnesses. Has the UV light if I want to do some staining at the hospital. And the laser, check this one out from Olight. This is the ArkPro.